Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the voice of hardcore boxing. But then again, you already know that, don't you? Yes, that's why you've tuned in. Right, before I introduce today's new guest making his debut, I just want to say, if you look below, you will see a link pinned up in the comments section. That's for all you people who keep emailing me saying you're having problems joining our members area. The members area is $5.99 a month. That's for 10 extra videos per month. So it's less than 60p a video, isn't it? What we do with that money, after YouTube have took 30% of it, we put it into 1 or 2 production videos for the month, all right? So nobody's making any money. It's a non-profit making channel for all the you who keep emailing me saying, okay, you're ripping us off, 59p a video. Look, the money goes back into the channel. We still don't take anything out. It's what we do. It's our passion, this. But we're trying to better ourselves by doing 1 or 2 videos a month. We're a production company. If we can do 10, we would. But you've got to start somewhere, aren't you? Now, today, I'm joined by James from Basingstoke. And he's got some questions for me. How are you doing, James? Are you all right?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Porky. Thanks for letting me come on the show. I'm a big fan. Been looking forward to it. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, your profile picture is just a big black shadow, so we're going to call you James the Shadow from Basingstoke.
Yeah,
right.
apologies for that, Porky. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with Zoom. I've usually used Teams and things like that, so that's my bad on that one. So yeah.
Right. The floor's all yours, James. Fire away.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just wanted to. I'm always watching the show. I love your videos. I love some of the titles, and I consider your show one of the very few real hard-hitting, honest shows out there. And you kind of say it as it is, and there's no sugarcoating it, which is what I appreciate, because you probably agree that there's a hell of a lot of that at the moment going on. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions. Really, it's a kind of mixture of like yourself and modern-day boxing.
Yeah.
First of all, from what age did you really start following boxing, really? Did the passion start?
The first fight I ever saw was on a black and white TV in my mum's bedroom, sat in my mum's double bed with my brother. It was a month before my 10th birthday. We had a bag of salt and vinegar, French fries, a can of Coca-Cola and a Mars bar. And my mum and dad nipped over to the pub called the Greyhound. That's in Edlington, Doncaster. I went out and had a few jars. And when they came back, me and my brother were still watching boxing, and what they'd done, they were throwing cans of beer at Marvin Hagler, if I remember.
Oh, right. So that was the
first one.
Yeah.
And after that, as far back as I can remember, a few years after that, it might have been 5 years, I remember me, my granddad, my great uncle, they've obviously passed away now, and my dad, my mum, my brother, all sat and watched Barry McGuigan fight Juzo Pedrosa at QPR ground, Loftus Road. And in them days, you had Channel 1, 2, 3 and 4. Channel 4 would come out. And all anybody spoke about for that day, when we used to play football, when people who I grew up with and go conquering or whatever we did, playing A-stacks, normal kid things, all we spoke about were watching the Barry McGuigan fight that night. And there were nobody on the streets that night. Everybody were either in pub watching it or in their houses. 20 million watched it, didn't they? So that's as far, and then obviously the Frank Bruno fights and on and on and on. But that's as far back as I can go back to. 1980, Hagler, I think 85, McGuigan. So that's my introduction to boxing.
Brilliant. 2 absolutely fantastic fights. I know the Pedraza fight with McGuigan, especially, was an amazing fight. The Hagler one, I think, is Alan Minter. He's from Crawley, which is not a million miles away from me, actually.
Alan Minter, yeah.
But 2 fantastic fights. Well, no, thank you very much for that. And obviously then the Bruno era, etc. We all know about that. So, did you ever actually do any boxing in your life at all?
No, I've never boxed. I've done some boxing training. I did a lot of boxing training in prison, and I've done a lot of boxing training out here, but not recently. So
yes, same as me, same as kind of me. Actually, going to a fight live, what's the best one you've ever seen? Have you seen a few or?
Froch Pascal for ringside for that. Tyson Fury made his debut that night. That's the best one I've seen live.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of the Froch fights. I mean, technically, you could argue he wasn't. Technically, how you'd want to train a young boy to be a fighter, but I always thought he's an exciting fight. He does get a lot of stick, Cole, but some of it some of it self-administered, I admit, but he was in some really cracking fights. Yeah, I enjoyed it personally. I just wanted to move on, Porky, and just talk about this whole AJ Fury debacle, really. I just wanted to, in your honest opinion, who do you honestly feels to blame about this? And the reason I say it is because I've been a big critic of both, really. I've been a big critic of Earn in the past and Fury. But I'll be honest with you, I think Eddie Earn's been tucked up a little bit with this one. I really do. I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
Yeah, I think that he's shot his mouth off. He's upset a lot of people, and he's obviously upset Al Heyman, Shelley, Finkel. Obviously, Frank Warren, there's no love lost there. He's upset just about everybody across there, Oscar De La Hoya. And I think most of them have got their heads together and said, you know what, we'll teach him a lesson. Because he's very greedy. You know, when you're dealing with people that are greedy, they're very easy to read, aren't they? And Joshua's greedy. We all know that, don't we? So, and I think they've been tucked up, like you just said, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think greed definitely does come into it. And I think a lot of it is naivety by Eddie Earn. And like you say, I think they kind of played him like a fiddle there. But I don't, personally, the heavyweight division for me, I know there's talk now about the Dillian White 2 fight, and maybe he's going to vacate the belt. But I don't know personally. I don't really see the benefit of him fighting White 2 over fighting Usyk, to be honest. But we shall see about that. What fight in boxing at the moment do you most want to see? That's an interesting point I wanted to ask you.
Well, you just spoke about it, haven't you? Fury Joshua, that's the one I wanted to see, and we're not going to see it now. But I'd like to see Clarissa Shields against Savannah Marshall. I could really fights off all day. Errol Spence, I'd like to see him against Pacquiao, which we're going to see. And they didn't shout their mouths off about that, did they? They just went and did it, didn't they? Yeah,
no, absolutely. That's I think that's actually one of the points I wanted to ask, really, about the prediction for that fight. What do you think the aged Pacquiao still got it in him? Really, it's a tough fight.
No, I think he gets knocked about. Well, I'll tell you another good fight I'd like to see: Callum Johnson against Joshua Buatsi. I think that. I mean, in the current climate, you'd have to say that's pay-per-view. I know in the real world, in layman terms, it's not pay-per-view, but in the current climate, when you put in Dylan White against Povetkin and Dylan White against Oscar Rivers on pay-per-view, well, why can't, and Parker, I mean, come on, why can't Callum Johnson and Buatsi be pay-per-view? I know people are going to say, Porky, you're crazy. But other people are going to say, Porky, please don't leave YouTube. Do you know what I mean? So
brilliant, yeah.
I think that's a great fight for Callum Johnson, and I think he'd be a massive favourite. But because how much longer can Anthony Joshua and Eddie Earn keep digging up people from cemetery to fight Joshua Buatsi?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I did see his knockout the other day. That was a big knockout. That I think they bigged the other guy up. I can't remember his name, probably a little bit too much. But the Callum Johnson fight would be a very good fight. I do find though with a lot of Joe Gallagher's fighters. I think he's still with Joe Gallagher. I don't know. I just think they normally have one plan really, and if that plan doesn't work, they usually lose. But I don't know. That's just my opinion on that one, really.
Yeah.
But a great fight, like you say. I wanted to just move on really and ask actually if Eddie moves on from this Sky Sports stuff that's going on with the Zone, where does that leave a lot of the Sky Sports boxing pundits? Because I mean, I've grown up with the Sky Sports boxing and watched it develop mainly. And if that's not, where's that going to leave Sky Sports? And particularly, where's it going to leave a lot of the pundits?
I think it's going to leave them like Glenn McCrory, stood outside Job Centre at Food Bank building, isn't it? So, and that's what they deserve, isn't it? And when that happens, I'll be the first one to raise a glass. So, because they all deserve it, don't they? All arse lickers, a lot of them.
Now, Porky, honestly, I watch a lot of the videos and you're so right. You just wonder. They're all saying the same kind of stuff. It's like a script. And that's what I appreciated when I first found your podcast, started listening to it. Yeah. It was like a breath of fresh air, really, because obviously on this podcast, a lot of people and yourself say a lot of things that a lot of people are thinking, but they don't say it. They're part of the matchroom bubble, and they probably get smacked on the bum if they said the wrong thing. So, but yeah, no, it's good to find out on with that. Also, another interesting topic I like to hear about is John Fury and Mickey Theo. Actually, I know. Mickey Theo's a big friend of the show. Yeah. When I first see a year ago, when I see the first video that Mickey put out, the first one, I thought we come across really nice straight away.
Yeah.
And to be honest, since then, I quite enjoy his videos. I don't see anything he says wrong. And I think he's just calling out someone who just goes around shouting his mouth off all the time. But I wanted to know what the latest on that was and what you think likely is going to happen there.
Right, the latest is I speak to Mick every day. He's become a good friend of mine, and I've spent a bit of time with him. He takes his training very seriously. He eats very strict. He's about 6% body fat. I think he's just a natural person that likes to keep fit. Now, he's not very tall and he hasn't got long arms, so if you fought John, you'd have to get him close. But he's sparring 6'4" guys, 19 stone men in that TKO gym in Essex. Every day he trains, whether it's running, weights, boxing. He's doing something every day. He's in fantastic shape. John Fury called any man out over 50 in the world. Am I right?
You are correct.
So Mick said, I'll accept your challenge, John. And a date was set, May the 28th. John Fury pulled the plug on it. And what he did, he called Mick out and said, forget May 28th. Just get up to the Ricky Hatton's gym tomorrow at this time and we'll get it on. If you don't turn up, that's the end of it. And that's how John shut it down, which is very similar to how they shut the lies down with Tyson Fury giving 7-8 million to charity. Once you tell a lie, you've got to tell another, or you shut it down and then go silent. And that's what they've done. So, but Mick's just been chipping away for the last 11 months. And the latest is some guy came to see us whose mate knows John, and a big guy. You might have seen him on channel. And he seems to think that he can get this fight over the line, but whether or not John signs, I don't know. But we can only try, can't we? But John needs to come out and say, no, I don't want to fight. And he wishes Mick all the best, and that'll be it. Or he needs to come out and sign the contract, because Mick's got a platform to do it on YouTube. We shell out a bit of money here. He's got lawyers with contracts, venue, referee, bellman, all the lot. Everything's all there. All we need now is a date from the venue and John Fury to sign, and then that's it. There only needs to be that fight on the night. There don't need to be all that undercard stuff and this and that. People are just turning up for that one fight. So let's see it. Let them get a few quid out of the job and let them make a donation to charity. What's wrong with that? Everybody else is wanting to do it. His son Tommy's wanting to fight that Jake Paul or whatever. So what's difference?
Yeah.
What's difference? So if John don't want to fight, he needs to pipe down, but he's already piped down, hasn't he? Because we don't.
Yeah, I don't think. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's come out of this looking good at all. No. Even before the Mickey Theo thing, for years and years, he was always going on shouting his mouth off, making these weird things. Oh, he's going to knock Dana White out, and I'll fight him tomorrow. Blah blah blah. And I just don't think he's come out of this looking good. Mickey's got it all done for him. It seems like he's got everything ready. John's got to do nothing but sign and turn up to fight. And if he don't, I'm sorry, it's not looking good for him. And I think with the Furys and Tyson as well, I'll be honest with you, I think they're becoming a bit more transparent by the hour. I just think...
well, it's the fighting men that don't fight, aren't they, at the moment? Tommy Fury fights a guy, Norton 14, in his next fight. Has he just fought somebody with a similar record?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go look through Tommy's box rate. They're all guys who are Norton whatever. And Tyson's not fought in 15 months. And who's to say he's even going to fight Wilder in July? I don't think it happens personally. But we see him in the news every single day, although we haven't seen John since I put it on him. But we see other two in news every day, but they're just out to pinch money. They're not bothered about legacy. And that Tyson's got a legacy and he can fight, but he ain't fighting at the moment, is he? He's too busy partying, isn't he? So,
yeah, I think he's showing signs. Personally, I think he's showing the classic signs of he's going to be doing what he's doing. He's signing for the fight. He's pretending he's looking up for it. He's putting these videos out. Look, he always does. And I've just got a sneaky feeling there's going to be an injury coming up. I just think there's going to be some kind of injury, but I don't think he really wants it.
You've got it, kid, don't you? But he's in news every day, isn't he? And then what'll happen is then he'll retire, and what we'll get then, he's going to do WWE, he's going to do films, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Look, everybody wants a bit of fame, don't they? There's no wrong with that. But I think they're overkilling it, aren't they? He takes it too far, doesn't he, Tyson? Because that's the type of personality he's got in it. But as far as I'm concerned, he didn't want to fight Wilder the other month. Now, all of a sudden, he wanted to fight him all along. So all you get are contradictions. But boxing fans, Tyson needs to remember, are fickle people. Sooner or later, they just turn like that on you.
Yeah. They do. They do. Certainly do, mate. It's all going well. I heard a quote once. They particularly British fans, they want you to do well, but they don't want you to do too well. And if you start doing too well, they turn on you quickly. And I think that just about sums them up. But yeah, I must admit, I'm really disappointed with this whole situation with the Fury AJ thing. That was the fight I wanted to see, or everybody wanted to see, really. And I don't know where it leaves it in at. And I just got a feeling it may never get made, but we shall see.
We'll see.
But yeah, there's another quick question as well. We're kind of just sticking with you, obviously, because I'm a big fan of the podcast. I watch it every day, and the videos, always looking at the updates. Where would you like to be with the podcast in the future? What you have bigger plans for it as well? You just want to keep growing and growing and growing?
There's been some offers to do other things, but we don't know what we're doing with it, to be honest. It seems to be snowballing a little bit at the moment. We're ahead of where we want to be. But I basically just want to talk about boxing and things surrounding boxing. But there's been offers to do other things. But we're going to look at that further on down the year, because I'm not going to blow my own trumpet. But after 1,400 videos, I like to think that I'm a little bit more polished than I were 3.5 years ago, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. I totally agree.
We're going to see where we go, but I'm not frightened to have an opinion. And too many people, I think, nowadays are all scared of upsetting anybody and things like that. But I don't really bother with that. So.
Oh, mate, I think that's what attracted me, really. I started watching some of the videos and some of the guests as well, yourself mainly, and your guests come on and say it how it is, and that's what I want to. That's what I want to see, really, because. Like I said earlier, there's so much sugarcoating that goes on. It's good to have someone that's going to say it how it is and not be frightened or intimidated. Go
on. Well, what it is, I'm sorry to put it, but what it is, when I first started, I wanted it to have that vibe as like you sat in the pub with your mates and you say in pub what you think about things. But and I know people in industry, fighters who've got board licenses, managers, even promoters, matchmakers, cutmen, seconds, trainers. They all speak like I speak in my company, but then they go on the social medias and they say something totally different. And I thought, I can understand why they do that, because they have to work with them people down the line, don't they? And I thought, well, I ain't got a board license, I will refuse one, so I'm just going to say what I think without dropping anybody in it. I'll just give an opinion, and I get to know all sorts. You won't believe the things that I get told, but I have to weigh up and think, well, is that right? Is that right? Are they setting me up? Are they not? Well, I'll just put it out there if I think it sounds right. But the vibe of the show that we've got here is we just give an opinion, like we're sat in pub down in 4 cans of beer or whatever, 4 pints.
Yeah. Yeah, no, very good. No, I recognise that, mate. It's that's what I say. That's why I like the show.
Thank you.
Another quick. I did see the shout out from Peter Fury video to you a while back. I just wanted to ask, actually, the situation of Peter and John. I don't see many videos of them together anymore. Was there a fallout there?
I can't really comment on that because it's brothers, isn't it? You'd have to ask them.
Right, yeah. No, fair enough. I know you do get told quite a bit, and also the John Fury footage. I didn't think that even existed. So when that came up.
Well, I'll tell you a story about that. I'm not frightened to tell you. I'm not going to say who gave us it, but a few years ago, I went to a boxing match in 80s. It was Neil Malpaz against John Fury for the central area. And this fight was built up over about 10 weeks. There were posters up in local gyms and stuff like that. But John's story is that he took the fight at 3 hours' notice. That's a lot of rubbish. Anyway, John lost the fight on points. And I found out that a guy called Steve Oldsworth had the footage. So I got in touch with him and he sold me a DVD copy. This is when I used to go to Peter's gym all the time and John was there. And I said, hey, John, I've got you a copy coming in. Only 25 quid. So I give John the copy of it. He said, nice one. This is when I used to get on with John. Anyway, after that, Tyson made a comeback a few years later. And this was just after Tyson won the world title. He made a comeback and just after he fought Wilder, I rang Steve up. I said, Steve, I'll have another one of them John Fury versus Neil Malpaz DVDs. And he said, I've been told it's worth thousands, this. I says, what are you on about thousands? It's a central area fight, Steve. He said, well, John says it's worth a lot of money because American TV are interested in doing something big with him and have to not sell any copies unless it's for thousands of pounds. So obviously John had got him. So I thought, okay, so I'll let it go. tried a couple of other things, and Mickey Theo tried to get it off him because he filmed some bodybuilding competition Mickey were in. So we let it go, and then I found out from a friend of mine, I'm not going to say who had copies of 2 other fights, and in these 2 other fights, John gets knocked out, doesn't he? So so these people, this person told me who had the copy. So I got this guy's number, rung him. He said, "Yeah, I've got the copies, but I want X amount for them." And I said, "Okay." So I rung Mick up. I said, "Mick, do you want to go get them copies?" He went, "Yeah." He shot straight across London and got them, and give them me. And obviously, I did the business with him. Yeah, that's my best viewed video, 82,000. But the point I want to make is it's not a dig at John. It's me more or less saying, listen, anybody's for sale. And I wanted people to see that John isn't this roadman killer. He's had a fight. He's got to be given respect for being a professional fighter. But he's not a roadman killer like he makes out. And you saw in them videos, didn't you? He were fighting 2 novices and he got put to kip. So I just wanted to prove a point, and that's like, we want to dig at John. I know it comes across as that, but John's brought a lot of this on himself, right? Shooting his big mouth off and not backing it up. So I just wanted to say, look, John, I ain't bothered about you. You can huff and puff, get people to leave threatening emails and this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm not bothered about you. If I were bothered about you, I wouldn't have put a billboard up in Manchester asking him to fight Mickey Field, because you saw that, didn't you? I
did see that.
Even when we got it up at 6 in the morning, some guys came over saying, "What are you doing?" "We're going to phone John." I said, "Well, phone him then. We're not going nowhere." So obviously the billboard, it got took down, 5 days later. But the point we made, and once we filmed it up there, it didn't matter. And that's not the first billboard that's going up. There's others going up in Manchester. It's just with pandemic, there's a bit of a problem getting them up. So, but nobody's done anything wrong. John needs to come out and say, "I don't want to fight you, mate," or "Let's do it down the line." Well, sign the contract, big boy, then.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll be honest with you, I can't see, as it stands at the moment, I can't see John ever coming out and just saying, "Look, I don't want to fight, leave it off now, blah, blah, blah." I think it'd hurt his pride too much. I think he'll just try and remain quiet until he's pushed too far. But the thing is, like you say, he's going around saying he's the best and fittest 50-year-old, over 50-year-old in the world, etc. I mean, it's just a little bit ridiculous, isn't it? You can fool some people on YouTube, but like I say, a lot of the people on this show, yourself, you ain't going to fool them people. If you're going to say it, back it up. Like I say, you're a fighting man. You fight any time, any place, blah, blah, blah. You've got to back it up now. He's had the challenge. Yeah. As simple as that. And I hope it goes through. I really do. And I want to be there if it did. So
good man. Thank you very much. Good man. We'll have you there ringside. How's about that, James?
Mate, that would be absolutely fantastic, mate. It really would. Because I'm in Basingstoke, but I was born in London, but I moved to a little place called Tilbury, which is in Essex. And so I'm not a million miles away from Mickey Theo and that, where Mickey Theo is. He owns is it a kebab shop, isn't it?
No, not Taste of Cyprus in Cheshire.
Taste of Cyprus.
No, he doesn't own it. They sponsor him now. He doesn't own that.
Right, okay. I thought he was kind of an owner. I know he does some car washing stuff as well, but
a bit more than that.
I'm sure he does. But no, I like when Mickey's on the show and thing. I do like it. I think he comes across really well.
He's as genuine. Everything that man has said he will do, he has done. He's kept his word with everything with me, because my pet hate, right, is when somebody says, "We're going to do this, we're going to do that." I always say, "Well, you've said it now." And this is why I left Dennis Hobson, because he were always going to do wonders, and all they did was shit cucumbers. I had over 5 years listening to rubbish, and eventually I went, "See you later." That's my pet hate. There's talkers and there's smoky bacon walkers. No time for shit talkers. Well, I wish him all the best, but Mickey has delivered on everything he's said. So and that's why I back him. He's my pal. I back him.
No, I agree, mate. I didn't like that video. Did you see that guy approached him when he was washing his car, trying to take the piss? And he was trying to laugh at that, but from my point, I thought he was trying to antagonise him. He was trying to antagonise Mickey.
Well, the same guy, we're in a restaurant when Mick were in there, and he sent Mick and his family drinks over, and they were just he were on his own then, and he went with all his mates. So.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, I don't think Mick's bothered, and Mick didn't even charge him for that car wash. But if they'd have got at it, Mick would have dusted him inside 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, I know that, but I just things like that I just can't stand. But I know why they do it, trying to take the piss, trying to look big on the old phones and whatever. But
he would have done that to me if I'd have been there. Mick would have said, "No, you can't cause any trouble." I said, "No, I won't approve with that, mate. Forget what it's your business." I would have got stuck straight into him, mate. Win or lose, I would have been on the booze after. But no, I won't approve with anything like that. So Mick's very placid. If you saw that interview where that travelling guy from Hull came over, the big guy, whose mate's John's mate. Did you see we're all in the restaurant outside?
Yeah.
And he were giving it all the bigger than that. And I said to Mick, "Why did you act coolly there like that and just sit with you?" He said, "Well, why do I want to play my hand and all that kind of thing? You just acted cool." Do you know what I mean? But the big guy were trying to be intimidating and all that. And I thought, what all that about? Well, that's just what makes like it. And then he's just got that switch because I've seen him spar. I wouldn't be backing him if he couldn't fight. He can fight, mate. Honestly, just because he's about my height, about 5'9", about 13 stone. He don't mean to say that he can't fight. He's in good nick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, I've seen him spar big guys down there. Jim McDonnell and Locke go down there. Dean White, everybody goes to the TKO gym. And they'll all tell you he can fight. Jim McDonnell takes his fighters in there every day. Noel, trainer who's got the gym, that used to be mixed gym, that. You give it, Noel. Point I want to make is he can fight, mate. And John Fury, if he fights him, Mick will come to win. And if Mick don't win, it ain't so bad because Mick can't shut his mouth off. He ain't got no to lose, has he?
Nah.
John's got it all to lose, hasn't he?
That's the problem, isn't it? If you go around shouting your mouth off like that, you're the one that's going to look like a bit of a mug when it don't go right. But I got a feeling. At first he may have been up for it, but I don't know if John's done a bit of homework and maybe he's heard through the grapevine for a few people that Mickey can actually fight, and he's thinking, I don't fancy this now. I think that's what happened. He's done a bit of homework. Yeah. But we shall see, mate. We shall see. But yeah, brilliant stuff, mate. Good. Any other questions I got for you? I could ask questions all day, really.
Go on, then. Fire away.
Yeah. What did you think of Josh Taylor? I know you've probably been asked it, but I wanted to just get your opinion.
I think he's an elite fighter, top 6 pound for pound in the world. He's that good, and I've always said this going back to when I first started my channel. Obviously, I weren't saying he were elite when I first started my channel, but in 2018, I said he beats Mikey Garcia, and everybody said, "Oh, you're crazy!" And I said, "Well, keep watching."
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think a lot of Josh's career, I think he's taken the right fights at the right time, which is important. I mean, he took Victor Postel on. Victor wasn't no slouch himself. He beat him. No. He took O'Hara Davis on, and I don't know if you remember at that point, O'Hara Davis was the next big thing. He was the killer. He had the big punch, he kind of showed him up. Then he's done the Super Series, but I'd actually feel sorry for the kid, to be honest, because the exposure he got for this fight was pretty shocking, to be honest. Yeah. Needed him on your channel, mate. You could be his promoter.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't
it? It certainly would, mate. But just trying to think of the next big fights that are coming up, really. I mean, obviously, like the Pacquiao Spence, but at the moment, I don't think boxing's in the best of places. I don't see where it's got to go. And if they're not making these big fights, I don't know the effort that was put in to try and convince Deontay Wilder to fight AJ. I know Eddie Hearn was going off saying that they made zero effort. But I mean, did Eddie give him a ring? I mean, couldn't Eddie have spoken to Deontay and tried to convince him? But I don't know really. But I think it's absolutely.
Well,
sorry, mate. Yeah, go on. You fire away.
You want to say it's absolutely what, rubbish?
Yeah, just think it's just shocking for the fans, really, because. Me as well. I got sucked into it a little bit. It pretty much seemed like it was done. Tyson put that video out saying he just got off the phone to the Prince of Saudi, which I'll be honest with you, I think even then Tyson knew it weren't going to happen. I just think he done that so it looked like he definitely wanted to fight. And then obviously I thought well, it's all going to happen, and then Deontay Wilder won. But to be fair to the man, an agreement's an agreement. If that is in the contract, then I suppose it's got to be honoured, isn't it? What else can you do? He wants revenge, doesn't he? He does want revenge, but I think he feels he can still beat Tyson. But I mean, Tyson beat him last time. Although I personally do think it was a bit of an overrated win. It was a good win, don't get me wrong, and he won. But people going on about one of the great heavyweight wins, and he just smashed him and that. But I don't know. I think that's a little bit far fetched. I just think he came up against someone who just couldn't do it on the night. and he lost his equilibrium, and Tyson smashed him personally. But I don't know. I still think anything could happen in the third fight. I do favour Tyson. You got to, purely because of his range and his boxing ability. But Deontay could hit him, and if he hits him and he goes down, that scuppers the AJ up, doesn't it? So we'll see, mate.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen in that third fight?
I think that Tyson would be a favourite if they did fight. But who's to say it's even going to happen with Tyson's mental state at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we discussed earlier, I've got a funny feeling an injury's going to come out there. I think he's trying to ride that gravy train from that second fight a long time. He's been doing it 16 months now. Maybe he just wants to continue riding that because he's got other things going on as well, Tyson, isn't he? WWE and that, you can always get involved with that. So, yeah. But yeah,
what do you think, mate? What do you think to Sam Jones getting his matchmaker's license took off him this week from British Boxing Board of Control?
Well, you know what? I didn't actually know that, but I do listen to a lot of what Sam Jones has got to say on his videos. The videos are getting more and more. The thing is, he's with this Tyson Deontay Wilder thing, it's not come out well for Sam Jones, is it? Obviously having Joyce and the Usyk situation. So, but I wasn't actually aware that he got his matchmaking license taken off. Is there an underlying issue there? Is there, or is there something?
Section. Let me have a look. I don't know, section 23 point something or whatever. It's on. If you want it, British Boxing Board of Control on circular, you'll see, and it'll tell you what it is. It says a rule on it, but it could be anything. Personally, I think it's probably tapping up, but I don't know. That's just a guess, but I don't know. But yeah, so he's had his matchmaking license suspended.
Well, that's not going to bode very well for him. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you think of Harry's kind of looking after Joyce and that. I don't know with Sam, because sometimes he comes across as he knows what he's doing and he's pushing for certain things, but I don't know. I don't sometimes think he isn't. He isn't what he comes across as on them videos, because he can come across as slightly arrogant in that sometimes, can't he? He is a little bit like that, but I'm going to have to go onto that website and look at that British Boarding Boxer Control thing. But who knows, mate? Who knows what it is?
He needs to go back to selling Nissan Almiras, mate. That's what he needs to do, mate.
Yeah. He does come across a bit like that, and he's probably at some point in his life has sold a few. But yeah, I mean, what he's doing with Joe Joyce, like I say, feel a bit now for Joe Joyce with obviously after beating Dubois, it's not really moved forward with that. I mean, Dubois is fighting before Joe Joyce is fighting again, and Dubois was one with the injury. So, and obviously now with this Usyk situation, that's been scuppered as well. But I like Joe. I think Joe comes across quite well, big Joe Joyce, and proving everybody wrong. But yeah.
What do I think about it? Oh, right.
No, sorry. I was just going to ask, just quickly, randomly moving forward. Really, I was going to ask what you thought with the Dean White Joshua 2 plans. What do you think that's a suitable fight?
Dean White, Joshua. You mean Dylan White?
Dylan White. Sorry, not Dean White.
Dean White can't fight for Toffee.
Yeah, no, the reason I've said Dean is because every time I turn on the boxing news at the minute, he's always on there. So he's in my mind. But I was actually thinking more Dylan White, Joshua 2, which is...
Well, that's why he's on the internet all the time. But when he's not saving people on aeroplanes at 35,000 feet...
He's a man of many qualities, old Dean, isn't he? He was over in Vegas last week with the Josh Taylor situation, wasn't he? I could see him saving Josh Taylor. Did you see that clip where Josh goes up to Ramirez and starts shoving him? They all start kicking off and going mad, and then Dean gets his hand around Josh and he's like, but puts his back to the rest of them just to say, "I'm here to protect you." Superman Dean White, but no, very, very funny, but. They're not even real brothers, I don't think, him and Dylan.
No relation, mate, at all. No. If they are related, show me birth certificate, show me your driving license and passports. All right, no relation whatsoever. One born in Jamaica, one born in London. No relation, mate.
I found that out a couple of months ago. I just thought they was. Obviously, that's what we're told, and it did make me laugh. That I've also heard through certain rumours that I don't know. It's probably not true. They're probably just winding him up. But people are calling Tyson Fury Luke. What's all that about? Did they say his name's Luke Fury or something?
I don't know.
Have you heard that?
I don't know. Yeah, I heard it were called Luke Tyson Fury or Tyson Luke Fury. I don't know. Somebody said his next second name ain't Fury, it's Partridge. Somebody on internet, but I won't believe anything you read on internet. I won't believe it.
I'll just keep listening to you, Porky's Corner, mate, and everything. I'll listen to that, and we'll take that as gospel, yeah?
You see, the problem, James, with social media is people can act out the fantasies and pretend to be other people and hide behind comment sections and fake accounts and that. And could you imagine, for example, I heard Eddie Earn made a video not long ago. Somebody were having a go at him on social media on this fake account, and they were pretending to be Mike Costello, you know, from Costello and Bunce on BBC Radio. So Eddie Earns texted him and he said, so you got up that morning, that Saturday morning, and said, today I'm going to pretend to be Mike Costello. I mean, this is the problem with social media. People can act out the fantasies, can't they? Pretend to be somebody else and have a pop at somebody. So what I say to that is this. It's very simple. All these tech companies need to charge people just 1p or 1 cent or one pence worth of a euro, whatever currency is across the world, and give the bank details. So then if they say things that are threats or trolling or all like that, they can be held to account because it's only going to cost a penny. If you want to use Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever it's called, Spotify or whatever, all the way across the board, there's 17 platforms. If you want to join all of them, you can go on all of them for me, but you've got to pay a penny for each one and give your bank details. And then if you troll somebody or you tell somebody you want to slice the family, like what I have to, you want to see my inbox, mate, but I'm thick-skinned. But at first I was like, wow. Or if you want to go through all that vileness, pay a penny. Because half of them that are complaining about it have got other accounts anyway. Pay a penny and let's see. Let's see. You'll see how many people unsubscribe from these channels. But that's what it needs to do. So to get to the root of the problem. But
no, absolutely. Listen, I totally agree. And I mean, going back to what you just said, it can't be nice. It can't be nice receiving them. I know you've probably learned to kind of deal with them in different ways now, but yeah. I mean, to receive that, I'm not sure I personally I would take that. But no, it sounds like that would be a plan and how to stop that. But I bet you. Obviously, when I first came on and the screen was blank, you probably started thinking about that. But I'm here just to talk about boxing and generally just have a good chat, really.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm just a bit disappointed that we can't see you. Yeah,
you know what? If I'm ever lucky enough to come back on the show, I'm definitely going to sort it. It's just I'm doing it through my phone, and obviously because it's a Zoom, I'm not used to it. And I can see you in the middle, and you're also at the top. And I was trying to flick it to see if my face would come up, but I swear to God, I'm not hiding from you.
Have a practice on your phone later with your friends, and then if you come on again when you're ready to come on, you'll be ready, won't you?
I will, mate. 100%. I'll be ready, and you'll be able to see me. And and I'll have more questions for you. I'll keep watching the videos as always.
Okie dokie then, James. Well, listen, thanks for coming on. It's been a real pleasure to meet you, even though we can't see you.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All the best, you and your family, and have a great week. What's left of it. Peace out.
Thanks a lot, Porky. Thank you.
Bye bye, James. Well, that was James from Basingstoke, the man with no face. We get the man with no name, is that Dean White, and we've got the man with no face, James. But he came across all right. But next time James comes on, we will get to see what he looks like. And so it saves you looking at me with these gimp glasses on, won't it? Pretending to be Dave Caldwell. All right, so peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep supporting boxing. Don't forget to hit the like button below, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button. And if you've got £5.99 in your bank, hit the link on the top comment, and it'll show you how to join. And you'll get access to all our members area videos. We do 10 a month. I think there's about 30 on there at the moment. All right, peace out.